Hey, folks, welcome into the 49ers Report. I am Cam Rogers. How we doing on this Sunday evening? Coming at you with the latest 49ers rumors, and we'll start things off with Victor Bolden. Is he going to get cut? 3 Jet heads for now. We think it's pretty likely. We're faithful in it. So Bolden, of course, has been suspended for the first 4 games of the regular season due to a violation of the league's policy on performance-enhancing substances. The substance you may be wondering about, contaminated creatine. So, yeah, that's the deal with Bolden. He's one of 11 wide receivers on the 49ers' 90-man offseason roster. The Niners are expected to keep 6 receivers on their regular season roster, so with the suspension now implemented here for Bolden, he faces an uphill climb to make the team. Will be eligible to participate, of course, in all practices and exhibition games before the start of the regular season. So there's still an opportunity for him to impress people throughout practices, mandatory minicamp, training camp, etc. But if he does not impress and the 49ers don't feel like it's worth keeping him around, then they might just not have him make the team. So there you go, 3 Jet heads there. Let's get to rumor number 2. Was Jimmy Garoppolo the most efficient scoring quarterback last season? What do I mean by that? You'll see 4 Jet heads here, and essentially Jimmy Garoppolo was atop all of the quarterbacks in terms of percent of scoring drives. The 49ers scored on 60% of Garoppolo's drives, according to NFL research, nearly doubling the 2017 league average. The Patriots ranked second, where Tom Brady took his team on scoring drives 52.8% of the time. Now, if you ask Cassius Marsh, he's not surprised. He recently said out he was with New England, of course, and that Jimmy Garoppolo would slice and dice up the Patriots' defense during practices and exhibitions. And Garoppolo has gotten a lot of praise from a few Patriots out there, of course, other Patriots, including Chris Hogan, Julian Edelman. They've praised Jimmy G before. Heck, Josh McCown said he's going to be the next big star in the league. So a lot of pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo to perform. High expectations indeed for 2018. But talking about 2017, he was quite efficient in terms of scoring drives. Let's get to rumor number 3 on the list. Big role coming for Fred Warner, of course, that rookie linebacker out of BYU. 3 Jet heads here. We're faithful in it. And as of now, Warner is actually getting practice reps at the Mike position. So inside linebacker, which is normally Reuben Foster's area of expertise, of course. At BYU, Warner played this position known as flash, which is essentially a hybrid linebacker kind of safety type of role. He's not expected to play that role for the 49ers, but the versatility certainly doesn't hurt should injuries accrue for the 49ers. So with Reuben Foster and Malcolm Smith likely the Mike linebackers, it's going to be interesting to see how the 49ers get creative with Fred Warner. As you take a look at my projected middle linebacker depth chart, you could probably put an asterisk next to Reuben Foster because there could be some sort of suspension coming from Roger Goodell, but we'll keep Foster atop the depth chart for now. Malcolm Smith there, Fred Warner, Brock Coyle, Eli Harold is an option if they want to use him at middle inside linebacker as well. But in terms of Fred Warner, keep an eye on him as we go throughout mini camp and training camp, etc., how the 49ers utilize him. As of now, it's just at the mic, but that could change going forward. All right, let's get to rumor number 4. Arik Armstead, is he bulking up? So I recently talked about how Josh Garnett is shedding pounds. Arik Armstead is gaining them, of course, getting ready for a new position on that front line. 4 Jet heads here, it's a thing, and of course, the 49ers recently picked up their 5th-year option on Armstead, which tells me they're pretty invested in this guy. He's currently at 290 pounds, up from about 10 to 15 pounds from a year ago. The reasoning is Armstead will be utilized as what we call a big end this year, where he's going to take on a lot more double teams, a lot more power. He's going to be on the strong side now compared to last year when you had to be a little quicker because Armstead was at the Leo position, essentially an edge rusher, if you will. So Armstead will be on that strong side in 2018. I think it suits him better, and he understands that as evidenced by the gains in pounds. Hashtag gains, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get to rumor number 5 on the list. Will Jimmie Ward play exclusively at corner? And we're talking about outside corner in 2018. Firmly in the rumor category, 2 Jed heads on this one. Jimmie Ward, of course, known for his versatility. He can do a little nickel corner, a little safety as well. But as of now, Robert Saleh wants Jimmie Ward to solely compete at outside corner, which is kind of interesting considering the 49ers are pretty darn solid at that spot there with Ahkello Witherspoon and Richard Sherman. Of course, Sherman not getting as many reps as Jimmie Ward would be. Ward has not been taking reps at nickel corner or safety so far in OTAs, which tells me perhaps the 49ers think Jimmie Ward can actually be a starter in 2018 at outside corner, which I just don't think is the reality. He's going to be on the bench for week 1 of the regular season in my eyes, as evidenced by the projected cornerback depth chart that I have here. Sherman's going to be cornerback number 1. Ahkello Witherspoon is going to be cornerback number 2. Then you got K'Wan Williams there at slot corner. Then Jimmie Ward down the list, just ahead of rookie DJ Reed out of K-State. So I really don't know what Robert Saleh is doing right now, trying to just only keep Jimmie Ward at outside corner. You use Jimmie Ward however you can because you're paying this guy around $8 million for 2018. So just to keep him at outside corner for now is a little crazy, but again, it's OTAs and all that. We got plenty of time for the 49ers to experiment a little more. Let me know where you think the 49ers should play Jimmie Ward this season. You thinking safety, nickel corner? Do you want him at outside corner? Heck, do you want him starting in week 1 of 2018 if, per se, Richard Sherman is not 110% ready to roll? Let me know in comments on Facebook Live as well as YouTube. All right, here we go. Rumor number 6, are the 49ers going to sign Terrell Owens, former NFL wide receiver? 1 Jed head on this one, and I'm not just making this up out of nowhere. There's a reason why I'm talking about this. Terrell Owens recently tweeted he'd be a nice target for 1 Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, so we know Terrell Owens has been trying this whole NFL comeback thing before. I've actually done a segment, my top 5 teams for Terrell Owens, and I didn't exactly have the 49ers on my list, but it could make some sense, as you can see in this picture here. A little bit of a reunion of sorts when T.O., of course, played for the 49ers in the early 2000s. There's the tweet. Quote, thanks, talking to John Lynch. It was a quote tweet, to be exact. I know Jimmy G is going to need a big play receiver this year at some point. Let's make it happen. Hashtag stay ready. Hashtag vet min. I love that. Veteran minimum. This guy doesn't care about money. He wants to be back in the NFL. He wants to make plays again. And honestly, I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world to bring this guy in for a workout, right? Just see what he can do. Honestly, I think it's a little insane that teams aren't giving this guy a chance. He looks good. He looks cut. He looks ready to roll. So we'll see if the 49ers bring him in. 1 Jed head here. I did not want to give this fake news because I still hold out hope on T.O. All right, let's get to rumor number 7. Will that defense surge in 2018? And particularly from a mental standpoint, we're talking about swagger on that side of the ball. 3 Jed heads here, firmly in this faithful category, if you will. So talking about Richard Sherman in particular, I think he does bring a lot of swagger to this defense. The reports are that the defense kind of has this new mojo, especially with Sherman in town. And the signing of Richard is so much more than just football ability. We're talking about leadership from a mentor perspective as well. He's a tone setter too. Sherman is obviously the captain of that secondary and may just be the captain of that defense as well. I'd expect Sherman to continue to be vocal throughout camp, teaching the young defensive backs the ropes and creating that cohesion that's so important in that secondary. Richard Sherman's going to be a big reason why this defense takes a step forward in 2018. And I've said it before, that secondary is going to be a big-time strength for the 49ers as well. All right, rumor number 8, are the 49ers easing Reuben Foster into these workouts here? 4 Jed heads, yes they are. So right now, Foster is undergoing individual drills. He's not exactly working out with the team or anything like that. No team drills, no group position drills at all, in fact. He worked on an individual basis with strength and conditioning coach Ray Wright. He joined his teammates on the sidelines to support them during end zone 11-on-11s, but that was the extent of that. And Robert Saleh said He doesn't plan on rushing Reuben Foster back into team drills, and honestly, that's the smart thing to do. In fact, Saleh and Foster did not interact at all during the legal process, so Foster has to catch up on quite a few things, not just from a football field perspective, but also a mental perspective. So easing Foster into these workouts makes some sense for me. Now, I've mentioned on the program here today that there's still the possibility that Roger Goodell could come down with a suspension on Reuben Foster, particularly because of that marijuana charge that has since been dropped. But we know how the NFL can operate sometimes. Do you think Roger will suspend Reuben Foster? Give me a heart for no, he won't. Give me a like for yes, sadly. All right, let's get to rumor number 9. Will Richard Sherman make a Hall of Fame case in the 2018 season? 2 Jedheads here in the rumor category. I think Sherman has his work cut out for him to actually make a Hall of Fame case in 2018 alone. He can do it in the next couple of years, but in 1 year, a little bit of a stretch here. Sherman is no doubt an unbelievable cornerback, and he's been a stalwart at that position for years, of course, until that 2017 injury. But it's a tad too early in my eyes to start talking about the Hall of Fame. Sherman needs a couple more signature type of seasons, signature plays, perhaps in some future Super Bowls. And that can certainly start in the 2018 season. And I think Sherman is in for a really solid campaign this year. And you take a look at the secondary in general, I think it's going to be really, really solid. Richard Sherman making a Hall of Fame case this year. We'll see. We got some accolades here to flash as well. Making a few Pro Bowls, 3-time first-team All-Pro as well. 2013 interceptions leader. Of course, Super Bowl champion with the Seattle Seahawks, beating those Denver Broncos. So the resume so far is good, not quite Hall of Fame in my eyes.